Chapter 574. Sui was stunned 3. Since you know the White Phoenix, do you know Nancian? Feng Ruching broke into a bright smile. As Feng Ruching knew nothing about Nancian except that he had an azure snake that followed him around, she wanted to know more about him. However, Qingzhu had never told her much. Nancian? Who is that? Suyis looked at her in wonder. Feng Ruching was slightly startled. It was a pity that Sui only knew the White Phoenix, but not Nancian. Seeing that Feng Ruching had trusted her words, Sui heaved a sigh of relief. She thought that Feng Ruching knew that she was Nancian's mother. She was not ready yet. Only when Sui had settled the things in the Mu family would she meet Feng Ruching again and let her know that she was actually Nancian's mother. Sui did not want her daughter-in-law to know anything about the Mu family. She did not want her to deal with that toxic place. If Feng Ruching knew that Sui was Nancian's mother, she might ask Sui about Nancian's father. Then, Feng Ruching might get involved with the Mu family. As a mother, Sui did not protect her son properly back then. Now, she wanted both her son and daughter-in-law to live in a world that was full of sunshine and to never allow anything from that dark place to stain their souls. That was something that she insisted on, and that was the reason why she had kicked the White Phoenix out of there. You slut. Your Highness. This is the slut that I mentioned just now. She wants to seduce His Majesty. Your Highness, this lady? Lady Lu saw the lady in front of Feng Ruching and quickly got up from the ground as she snarled. Snow Wolf, you did not send her far enough. Feng Ruching raised her brow. The Snow Wolf burst with rage as he howled. Once again, he gave Lady Lu a hard slap. This time, Lady Lu vanished from everyone's sight after rolling for quite a while. Do you believe what she said? Stunned, Sui stared at Feng Ruching. Only a fool would listen to what others say. I only believe in my own intuition. Somehow, I cannot even believe the things that I see. Feng Ruching smiled. Previously, Feng Ruching knew that Tang Yin had approached her with a motive, but she knew that Tang Yin was too gullible. Hence, she did not chase Tang Yin away as she believed in her own intuition. She could tell good from evil at first sight. That's right. Only a fool would believe in what others say. Sui stared at Feng Ruching in agreement. Chen Qingyan had always wronged Sui and the Mu family back then. The person who promised to protect her had never believed in her. No matter what Qingyan said, even without evidence, he trusted her. He only trusted Qingyan. It was apparent that Mu Ling was such a fool. He was no match for Feng Ruching, not even the slightest bit. Although Sui had let go of Mu Ling, she still held grudges against him for not trusting her. However, after listening to Feng Ruching, all the grudges vanished without a trace. Mu Ling was a fool. Why would Sui hold grudges against a fool? She only felt sympathy for him when someone had made a fool out of him, but he, himself, did not know. White Phoenix said that you were in danger. Hence, I am here to protect you. By the way, I have seen a man watching you. Perhaps, he is planning for something evil, Sui said nonchalantly, her expression calm and tranquil. Chapter 575. Sui was stunned. Feng Ruching followed Sui's glance. It was Lu Yuchen who was hiding in the corner of the street. With a drunken look and a flushed face, Lu Yuchen seemed to have drunk plenty of wine. He was like a lingering soul that keeps haunting Feng Ruching. His eyes were still fixed on her. It's him again. Is he planning to ruin my Princess Manor because Nancian had tasked Shaoqing to set fire to the Chancellor Manor? Feng Ruching frowned slightly. Hearing this, Sui's body stiffened. Nancian tasked Shaoqing to set fire to a manor? Shaoqing is capable of setting a fire. Wait, Nancian has actually done this? Or would it be that Nancian spiked the Lu family's food with laxatives? Shaoqing told me that Nancian spiked everyone in the Divine Herbs sect by putting laxatives into their food before. Perhaps he did the same thing to the Lu family? Feng Ruching frowned even harder. Nancian spiked food with laxatives? Sui's face was stiffened. Her son, who had always been holding himself with a noble bearing, had actually resorted to such a despicable mean. Spiking food with laxatives? Qing, that man is your ex-husband? I dumped him. After that, my friend set fire to his manor. My mother dismissed his father from the chancellor post. Not long after the chancellor's manor was fixed, Xiaoqing had once again set fire to the manor. Hence, he hates me so much and has been stalking me since. His eyes are truly vicious and cunning. I don't know what he is after. Sui glanced at Lu Yuqin. Eyes filled with viciousness and cunning? Sui felt that Feng Ruqing had gotten the wrong message. The man's eyes were full of affection. Apparently, he still loved Feng Ruqing. Qinger, you don't like him? Sui smiled lightly. Her smile was so beautiful that it could bring everyone to their knees. I only like the state preceptor, Nan Xian. Apparently, Feng Ruqing did not notice the way Sui had addressed her. Hearing this, Sui broke into a smile, warm and heart-melting. Feng Ruqing jumped down from the wolf's back with a smile in her eyes. You are the same like the state preceptor. Both of you don't like smiling. In fact, both of you look stunning when you smile. You don't need to hold yourself back on purpose. I have gotten used to this. The corner of Sui's lips curved into a faint smile. Ever since Sui left the Mu family, she had gotten used to hiding all her feelings. She could never change it after so many years. Feng Ruqing raised her arm to stroke Sui's face. There must be a reason behind this for both you and the state preceptor. I want to ask the state preceptor. I am waiting for him to tell me on his own. As for you, I want to ask either. You should not wait for the person who has made you who you are today. He is not worthy of your effort. Sui's body stiffened. Previously, if she had heard Feng Ruqing's words, she would have felt touched. However, she felt that if Feng Ruqing were a man, she would be the master of flirting. One knowing that Feng Ruqing had returned to Lu Yun Kingdom, Tang Yin was thrilled and rushed out the manor together with Nailan Jing only to see Feng Ruqing stroking another lattice face. Although Nan Xian had grown up and Suyi was no longer young, time did not leave its traces on Suyi's face. Simply no one would know that Nan Xian was her son if she did not tell. Seeing Feng Ruqing was so close to Suyi, poor Tang Yin's eyes reddened. Her heart was filled with grievance. Xiaoqing, you don't love me anymore? Have we ever been in love before? Feng Ruqing was startled as she stared at Tang Yin for a while before she asked. Chapter 576. Su-yi was stunned. Tang Yin could not hold back her tears anymore. She finally cried out loud. Xiaoqing treated every other woman well, too. But she was the only person whom Feng Ruqing had not allowed to enter the princess manor when she was there the first day. She was fine with losing to Nan Xian. After all, her opponent was strong. But now, Tang Yin stopped crying and looked at Su-yi. Then her face stiffened. She was prettier than her boobs. She looked down and her gaze fell on Su-yi's chest. They were also bigger than hers. No wonder Xiaoqing liked her. Xiaoqing? Tang Yin turned to Feng Ruqing with her red eyes. Is there any medication that can enlarge the breasts and grow them as big as watermelons? Feng Ruqing was silent for a while. She turned her head to look at Su-yi. Just ignore her. She can be weird at times. Su-yi doubtfully looked at Tang Yin. She is... Oh, her name is Tang Yin. Tang Yin. Su-yi seemed to be familiar with these two words, Tang Yin. Even though she did not leave the hill, she had always paid attention to the Mu family's movements. She wanted to know what they were planning. She understood that Mu Ling had found a fiancé for Nan Xian, which was Tang Yin. Now it seemed, did this so-called fiancé like Qinger? If Mu Ling knew about it, she bet he would be so mad. Thinking about that, Su-yi could not help but sneer. Qinger, the White Phoenix asked me to protect you. Do you mind me staying in your manor during this period? You are welcome at any time. Tang Yin was speechless. She felt aggrieved and self-pity. Xiaoqing, why have you been unwilling to let me enter your manor? Your purpose is too obvious. I am stupid if I let you in. But you want to drive me away now. Hoo-hoo, I want to go back to the princess manor. Feng Ruqing was distracted. She looked at Tang Yin hesitantly and then looked at Nailan Jing. If you come here, what about you and my cousin? Tang Yin was startled. What is up with your cousin and me? Oh, I heard from Qingling that your relationship with my cousin is extremely good. The state preceptor also thinks that you must be in love and need time to get along. Therefore, he let me send you to General Manor. Tang Yin was dumbfounded. That seductress, Nan Xian's tricks were very remarkable. He deliberately drove her away to completely possess Xiaoqing. Cousin, did you bully Xiaoyin? Feng Ruqing looked at Nailan Jing. Why does Xiaoyin keep mentioning that she wants to come back? Nailan Jing shook his head. No, Ener is the little devil of General Manor. She is indeed a little devil. She is being spoiled by mother and grandfather. Dyer also always follows her. Father resents her but still treats her like she is precious. So, what he said was not wrong. Oh, that's good. Feng Ruqing was relieved. She patted Tang Yin's shoulder. Get along well with my cousin. Just inform me when you want to get married. I will support you. No, Xiaoqing. I have been wronged. It was Nancian. The state preceptor's words will not be wrong. You shall settle down in general manner. My grandfather, my aunt, and my uncle are very nice. No one will bully you once you are married into general manner. Tang Yin almost cried. Xiaoqing, I really don't. The state preceptor said that you love each other. Feng Ruqing looked serious. You can rest assured that I will protect you. If my cousin bullies you, you may return to the princess manor. My manor is your parental house. If you are going to marry, you must be married from here. Chapter 577. Qin Chen's family members' eye Tang Yin's face stiffened. Nailan Jing had already moved forward before she finished her words. The teenager smiled a little. Cousin, I will help you look after her. He paused and hesitated. I heard that Lu Yuqin had been wandering outside your manor recently. Feng Ruqing did not say anything. Even her cousin knew that Lu Yuqin wanted to set her manor on fire. If Nailan Jing's eyes were ice-cold and murderous. You don't want to see him. I can make him disappear from Luyan Kingdom. Feng Ruqing smiled. He is still 20 feet away from the princess manor. If he dares to come 10 feet closer, I will break his legs. All right. Nailan Jing slowly sighed in relief. It seemed that his cousin did not have any good feelings for Lu Yuqin anymore. He was also reassured. Lu Yuqin was a person who judged people solely by their appearance, and her cousin deserved better. Xiaoyin, let's go. Didn't you want to cook fish soup for my cousin? Father has just bought some new fish today. Tang Yin's face, which was initially sad, suddenly lit up after hearing Nailan Jing's words. Good. Let's go home and cook fish soup. Feng Ruqing stared blankly at Tang Yin's disappearing figure. A smile played on her lips. It seems that Xiaoyin and my cousin get along with each other. I am relieved. Qinger, you like her this much? Suyi was silent for a while. Qinger liked her so much now. Was she aware that the Mu family wanted this little girl to be Nancian's fiancée? Even if she and Nancian disagreed on this matter, most people would bear no grudge against it. In the beginning, Xiaoyin did approach me with a purpose. It was only later that I realized what her purpose was from her so-called family. Nevertheless, she can be trusted since I choose to believe her. If she did not believe in a person, she would keep a distance instantly. If she did, then she would be confident in her judgment of people. Suyi could not refrain from laughing. An ordinary woman will surely be mad at her future husband for having a fiancé. However, Qinger is extraordinary. You are an excellent judge of character. For instance, Nancian. Feng Ruqing's eyes were filled with joy. Suyi's original owner was not that wise. But Qinger's intellect had always been good. Among all people, she had picked Nancian at a glance. A glance that was for a lifetime. Blood as red and as bright as the sunset was horrifying. There were obvious bloodstains on the corners of the boy's mouth. His black robe was ragged, and there was obvious blood oozing down his cold face. He had been hiding for so long. These people, they still found him in the end. They still did not want to let him go. Qin Chun. A middle-aged man walked out slowly from the crowd. His eyes were flashing angrily. How can you keep on cultivating? The boy stabbed his long sword into the ground. He was expressionless, and he did not even have a sneer. It is the Qin family's fault that I have been unable to cultivate for many years. Now, finally, it is time. He was used to suffering extreme pain when he cultivated over the years. Every breakthrough was a disaster. But Feng Ruqing, Qin Chen's eyes softened while thinking of the girl's smile. It was Feng Ruqing who gave him hope. She also gave him the greatest warmth in this life. Chapter 578. Qin Shen's family members too. Qin Shen, you are my son. So, you must have some considerations for the Qin family. We have been feeding you medicine since you were young because your health was very poor. Now that you have been hiding for so many years, it's time to go back. If he did not go back, what about his daughter? What about his precious daughter? A fortune teller foretold his daughter's fortune 16 years ago. If he wanted to save his daughter's life, he could only find the savior in the East. The said savior was, in fact, just a pill popper. Later, the people he sent had stolen Qin Shen from other people's homes. In these years, he had fed Qin Shen various medicines just to make him more suitable as a drug primer. Sure enough, with his blood, his daughter's condition was almost recovered in the early years. Hence, he did not waste energy to find him when Qin Shen had escaped. He let himself destruct as well. If it was not for the recurrence of his daughter's sickness, he would not have been able to come to him. Life didn't matter to me before. I had left the Qin family because I was tired of that place. Qin Shen slowly got up and gently wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth with his fingertips. But now, I don't want to die. He met someone. One person who had given him hope to live. He would cherish his life for her sake and be reluctant to die easily. Qin Li's eyes were cold. Qin Shen, you are so ungrateful. All these years, if it was not for the Qin family, how could you have survived? Let me tell you, Fei's condition is not so good. You have to go back. She is my daughter and also your sister. Qin Shen did not speak, and he held the sword in his hand tightly. He had never rejected Qin Fei being addressed as his sister in the past. Qin Fei had never been harsh on him regardless of how the Qin family had treated him. Now he was extremely resistant to this form of address. She is not my sister. This feeling was like something that belonged to only one person had been taken by others. He felt disgusted and irritated. Presumptuous. Qin Li yelled. Back then, your biological parents did not want you, and had even wanted to kill you. It was the Qin family who had saved you, and provided you a home. You have become the young master of the Qin family with supreme glory. What about letting you be a tester for Fei? This is what you should do. Qin Shen remained expressionless, but he gradually lowered his shady eyes. Being abandoned by his biological parents. It was abominable. However, Qin Li brought up the old stories again and again. Really, hateful and ridiculous. Qin Shen. Qin Li's tone softened. Your existence was a misery. Otherwise, your biological parents would not have wanted to kill you. Only the Qin family will disregard your past and take care of you. It is important to repay the kindness to those who have helped you. If it was not for Fei, do you think you could have entered the Qin family? Is this how you thank Fei? Qin Shen's eyes were cold as if he was not moved by those words. Moreover, that person from the Mu family said that he would give Fei to Nancian as his concubine after he gets married. With Fei's kind nature and her condition, she would be bullied by the first wife after she enters the Mu family. You are still alive because of Fei. Shouldn't you save her? Young Master Nancian. These 4 words caused Qin Shen to suddenly look up. His eyes flashed angrily. Who did you just mention? Nancian from the Mu family. When the old master of the Mu family was healthy, even the manor master of the Tianshan Manor had given the Mu family some credits. Although the old master is senile now, who knows that maybe he might become better someday. Even if some clans wanted to take some action, they will not be too daring to go over the line because the old master is still watching them closely. Chapter 579. Qin Shen's family members 3. Qin Li slightly smirked. So, there is nothing wrong with marrying Fei to Nancian. Young Master Nancian has been outstanding since childhood. He has not returned for many years, but he should be stronger than before. Qin Shen, think it over for yourself. The Mu family. Nancian. Qin Shen grew colder. Well, I am going back to the Qin family. Nancian. He should have recognized Nancian when he first saw him. No one would be as strong as him, except for Nancian of the Mu family at Tianshan Manor. Yes, although Nancian was always following Feng Ruching around, he had to admit that he was really strong. I will return to the Qin family 2 days later. Okay, I will give you 2 days. Qinli sneered. Sure enough, the title of the Mu family was indeed useful. Even the righteous Qin Shun could become excited when he could be acquainted with the Mu family. Qinli did not see that Qin Chin's eyes had grown colder and that his eyes were filled with hatred that seemed to swallow everything. The night crept in quietly. A gentle breeze flowed. The candles were flickering in the house, and it was misty. The young man stood up straight next to the bed. His face looked warm under the moonlight. His eyes rested on the girl on the bed. He gently stroked her forehead and combed her hair with his slender fingers. Suddenly, a lily-white hand stretched out and held the young man's hand tightly. Chainer, not knowing when Feng Ruching had opened her eyes, she then looked at the young man standing next to the bed. What happened? The young man lowered his gloomy eyes. He smiled, a smile so pure. I am going home. Going home. Feng Ruching trembled a little. She had forgotten that the current Qin Shan was not her close childhood friend, Cheer, anymore. In this life, she had her family, and Qin Shan also had his own family. She had simply ignored it since she had never heard him bring up his family. Your family? Feng Ruching was silent for a while. Do they treat you well? The young man smiled lightly. His smile was as bright as the morning sun, no longer as cold as he usually was. He dealt with other people pretty well. Then I am relieved. If your family doesn't treat you well, you can come back here at any time. This is also your home. I could not be your family member in this life, but you will always be my loved one in this world. Don't worry, Xiaoqing. I used to have nothing, so I don't care about anything. Now, I have you. I will cherish myself. Chainer, your family. Feng Ruching was still confused. Do they really treat you well? Then why have you been wandering around for years? Why have you been suffering so much? Tell me, where is your home? If I miss you, I can always go to you. I left home due to my waywardness. Xiaoqing, you don't have to worry too much. I will just go back for a while and will return soon. Qin Chun gently caressed Feng Ruching's head. Furthermore, the place where my home is located is hard to get in. Feng Ruching furrowed her brows for a moment before speaking calmly. Chainer, I respect your willingness to go home, but you must tell me everything no matter what happens. Do not bear it alone. Good. I will come back and tell you everything no matter what happens. Xiaoqing, believe me, I will become stronger the next time you see me. I will not let anyone hurt you. Chapter 580. Qin Shen's family members. Feng Ruching looked at the young man's clear eyes. She finally smiled. Just go home, but you must remember that the Princess Manor will always be your home. My manor is forever your home. The word home was once a thing that he had never dared to hope for, but it warmed his heart today. The warmth made him reluctant to let go. Xiaoqing, thank you. Thank you for appearing in my life in this life. Thank you for giving me a home. Qin Shun did not bother Feng Ruching. He turned and walked into the night. At that moment, his face was stoic and his eyes were looked ahead firmly. Since you like him, then I will not allow anyone to ruin your happiness. Anyone. This is all that I can do for you. Feng Ruching stared blankly at Qin Shin as he simply disappeared. The young man's back gave off a sense of loneliness. It seemed that he was the only one left in this world. A sick and beautiful lady was holding onto her servant as she carefully sat down in the arbor. Her face was pale and lack of any color of life. She pursed her lips gently as her delicate figure seemed to look like she might fall down at any given time. My daughter, how come you are out again? A gorgeous woman quickly walked toward Fair. The woman felt distressed looking at her pale face. You are so weak. Who has let you out? Lucia. She screamed, and the servant standing next to her immediately kneeled down. The servant was stunned and panicked. Mother. Qin Fair signaled her servant to leave. She then turned to look at the woman. Don't blame my servant. I planned, cough cough, to come out and have some fresh air because I was too bored. You have been a lot better in the past few years. However, your condition has worsened recently. I have already said that we should not have let Qinshin go. Your father has not gone to him because he thought you have completely recovered. The woman frowned and sighed helplessly. Qin Fair pursed her pale lips together. Mother, brother, will he come back? You have been so good to him since he was a child. If he doesn't come back, isn't he an ungrateful person like a white-eyed wolf? The lady snorted coldly. He must have suffered a lot outside. Now he must know that the Qin family has treated him so well. We had only fed him some medicine from time to time and provided you with his blood as a drug primer in the past few years. What else did we ask him to do? In fact, we even addressed him as the young master of the Qin family. What else does he want? Qin Fei felt aggrieved listening to the woman's words. She frowned. Mother, we, the Qin family, owe him a lot, and that cannot be repaid with fame and fortune. Moreover, he never knew that the Qin family's identity is fake. If he knew that he stole him away, the Qin family, the fortune teller said that she was born to be weak years ago. If she wanted to survive, she could only find her savior in the eastern part of the secular world. Then suddenly, the Qin family discovered Qin Shun. That family seemed to have a pair of twins, a boy and a girl. Moreover, Qin Shin's physique was special and was suitable to be a pill popper. So, Qin Shun was brought back to the Qin family. The Qin family had fabricated stories again and again to make him the so-called savior just so he would cooperate willingly. But Qin Fei had always been dissatisfied with the measure that the Qin family had taken. Nonetheless, she could not do anything since her parents insisted on their way of doing it. Chapter 581. Qin Shin's family members v. Fei. Have you forgotten how you have treated him for years? If it weren't you, would he have lived such a good life in the Qin family? What is wrong with letting him take some medicine and donating some blood? The lady frowned. Qin Fei was stunned. But the physician said that I am only a little sick now and will not die. Fei, the lady of the Qin family, when you held Qin Fei's hand, that person from the Mu family wanted you to marry Nancian. The Mu family's Nancian has great talent. The old master of the Mu family is still alive. So, you being his concubine is enough. Qin Fei's hand stiffened. She did not speak as she pursed her lips lightly. When you continued, do you think that the Mu family wants a sickly person? It is because your father has promised that your illness can be cured. Otherwise, if you can't bear Nancian's children, it's impossible that the Mu family will let you enter the manor even just as a concubine. Qin Fei looked down doubtfully. But, brother Qin Shun, Fei, think over it. Qin Shun will not die so easily due to some medicine he ingests and some blood he donates. At most, his cultivation will be affected by the overdose of medicine. But we, the Qin family, can also guarantee him a good life without having to worry about food, clothing, and money. We don't have to feel sorry for him. On the contrary, without the Qin family, he would have grown up in a secular world, which is completely nothing. He would not have been able to enjoy such glory in this life. The medicine being fed to the pill popper was obviously not good, but it would just affect his cultivation. It would not be too harmful. Therefore, when you did not understand why Qin Shun was so desperate to leave the Qin family. After leaving the Qin family, what could he do? Now that he had suffered enough, he would definitely come back. Mother, Qin Fei held Wen Ye's hand and said softly, then you shall promise me that you will treat him better after he comes back. Don't always humiliate him. He has done too much for the Qin family. Moreover, I don't want to see him being bullied. Okay, Wen Yu smiled. As long as you take your medicine obediently, we will not treat Qin Shun badly. Qin Fei let out a sigh of relief. If only the Qin family could treat Qin Shen better, then her sorrow would lessen a little bit. I'm sorry, Chainer. I don't have a healthy body, but I want to marry him. You are so kind. You will understand me, right? Even though she comforted herself in her heart, Qin Fei's eyes were full of regret. If it was just for his body, she could no longer use the so-called drug primer. Now, she could not refuse. Wen Ye's eyes darkened. She remembered the time her father brought the portrait of the young master Nancian. She was immediately attracted to the beautiful man in the portrait at first glance. She had seen such a beautiful man for the first time and had also fallen in love for the first time, even if she had never seen him. Since she saw the portrait, She was destined to fall in love with him. Thus, she could not refute her mother's words. But she would repay Qin Chen by treating him even better to compensate her faults. What did you say? Within the Mu family, Mu Ling suddenly opened his eyes. He asked coldly, that girl has married someone before? Sui has found her, and she ruined the Tang family. Tang Yin revolted and likes her now? What is this nonsense? He had just been away for a while. How could so many things have happened? Chapter 582. Qin Chen's family members, 6. The Tang family was ruined. The fiancée he found for Nan Xian liked her rival, the girl? Han Feng said respectfully, young manor master, the news that I have obtained are all true. Mu Ling felt a headache coming, so he rubbed his temples. This son of mine, I really don't know what is on his mind. He has bad taste. He fell in love with a deserted wife. He can't compare with me. Both Suyi and Qing Yin are so good. As for my son, how can he stoop so low to such extent? Allowing a deserted wife to become a concubine in the Mu family? Wouldn't the people ridicule the whole Tianshan manor and the Mu family? It was even more ridiculous that Tang Yin loved someone else. Did she love the deserted wife? This woman is really capable. Mu Ling sneered. It was only Suyi and Nanxian at first. Now even the Tang family's Tang Yin is like this too. The fiancé that I had chosen for Nanxian has turned out to be like this? Han Feng was silent for a while. Young master, there are some things that I have never understood. The Tang family is not strong in the reclusive world. Why? You don't need to understand these, Mu Ling said sarcastically. You just need to know that all the things I have done were for Nanxian. But Sui and Nanxian do not appreciate it. There was only one thing that, unfortunately, only the Tang family's second master who had passed away and the great elder of the Tang family knew. Even Tang Luo was unsure about the number of Tang Yin's secrets, and because the Tang family did not understand, so they did not pay too much attention to her. Otherwise, Tang Yin would not have run away. Such a pity. Mu Ling was regretful. Within the Mu family, no matter how he doted on Qing Yin, the only son he valued was Nanxian. No matter how great Qing Yin was, her son was foppish and often broke the rules. He was not as talented as Nanxian. Nanxian was his only hope. He naturally wanted to control his life. Of course, being counted on and being fond of are two separate matters. If it was about being fond of, he liked Qing Yin and her daughter more. They were intimate and sensible. They are also sweet talkers and well-behaved. The only disadvantage was that they were not capable. He only put his hopes on Nanxian because he had no choice. Forget it. If Tang Yin doesn't marry, so be it. Oh, I think the lady in the Manor Master's Tianshan Manor is quite good. I will talk to the Manor Master about her hand in marriage to Nanxian next time. If Tang Yin ran away, he would just find another one. After all, any girl would be better than a deserted wife. After Han Feng heard of the lattice name, his body trembled. But, my lord, the lady, she is a bit ugly and obese. She was already 20 years old, but no one had asked for her hand in marriage. Superficial. Mu Ling yelled. A superficial man only looks at the woman's appearance. The Manor Master was fond of the lady regardless of her looks. If we don't acquaint ourselves with the Manor Master, the Mu family won't be able to break away from the old man's control. Han Feng remained silent. If you were not so superficial, you would not have fallen in love with the young lady at first sight. You also would not have been so in love with Lady Qing Yin, that deserted wife in the secular world. Han Feng was silent for a while before he asked again. Mu Ling was anxious. That woman will let us be ashamed. Nevertheless, Sui still likes her. If I don't accept her, Sui will not come back. So, make her, change her name. Only then she can be married to Nanxian, as his concubine. Chapter 583. Qin Chen's family members 7. She could not use her former name, so that the people from Tianshan Manor would know about her past. If she really loved Nanxian, it was not a big deal to change her name. By the way, She could stop all contact with her family and she must never meet them in her life anymore. I don't want the people from the Mu family to be entangled with the people from the reclusive world. Moreover, not everyone can be a concubine in the Mu family. Yes, young master. Han Feng's gaze was filled with contempt. All of the women in this world have impossible dreams. The young master was willing to allow her to be his concubine. Even if she was asked to change her name, cut contact with her family, she might be willing to do other things too if she was asked to. Before that, Han Feng had only asked around about Feng Ruqing's past. He did not know that Rong Yin came from Fengyan Manor. He did not even know about the incident where Nanxian was so furious that he had rushed to the Divine Herbs sect, Supreme Princess Manor. Sui sat at a bench not far away from where Feng Ruqing was. She smiled as she looked at Feng Ruqing, who was training the spirit beasts. Her eyes followed Feng Ruqing's every movement. Yes, I'm so satisfied with my daughter-in-law. No wonder the White Phoenix likes her so much. He's always so picky. That face, that body, and the way she looks when she is training the spirit beasts. It seems like she has no shortcomings. Su. Feng Ruqing turned and saw Suyi, who was sitting not far away. She wanted to say something, but Suyi frowned before she could do so. Call me mother. Feng Ruqing did not know what to say. Suyi was calm and nonchalant. She seemed serious. If I had a daughter, she would be as old as you. It's fine even if you address me as mother. Unfortunately, I don't have a daughter. Feng Ruqing's face darkened. Then, I should call you Aunt Su. I have a son. What if I introduced him to you as your future husband? I have somebody I like. Then, they'll give you the White Phoenix as a present. Will you call me mother then? If not, what else do you want? I'm not even sure if Nanxian gave her the doo-doo. What if that boy forgot about it? What about my gift for her when I am to be introduced to her for the first time? Feng Ruqing smiled happily. I like Nanxian. Suyi was stunned. Somehow, she felt that Feng Ruqing was testing her patience. Has Feng Ruqing found out about my relationship with Nanxian? That we're mother and son? Mother. A soft voice came from behind Feng Ruqing when Suyi fell into deep thought. Feng Ruqing turned and a soft and petite body rushed into her embrace. The person seemed like she had been wronged. Mother, do you just want my father, the state preceptor? You go to the palace to meet him every day. It's been a long time since you spent time with me. Qinghan, why did you come out? Feng Ruqing patted Qinghan's small head. She squinted. Am I hallucinating? Somehow I feel that Qinghan has grown up a little, recently. Although it is not a solid breakthrough, she can contain her presence now. If I had investigated it carefully before, I could still sense that Qinghan's presence is different from a human's. Now, Qinghan's presence has completely disappeared. She's just like a normal girl. Suyi was stunned. Nanxian. Nanxian is so bad that he has even made her pregnant, and now they have a child. But he still has not married her yet. This kid seems like she is already 4 years old. How old was Qing'er 4 years ago? More importantly, Qing'er has given birth to a child for him. But he just stood there and did nothing while watching her marry another person? My son. The son whom I'm so proud of. When did he turn into such a villain? Chapter 584. Pathetic Han Feng. I mother, do we have a guest? Qing Han's eyes widened, and she turned towards Suyi. That beautiful aunt smells so familiar. It seems like she has a similar presence as my father, the state preceptor. The little girl bit her finger as she was stunned. Pretty aunt, have we met before? Her soft voice made Suyi's face bloom like a flower. She smiled brightly. You should call me grandma. Qing Han was skeptical. She thought for a while before she spoke again. But, you're so young. You can't be much older than my mother. What if I call you pretty aunt? No woman hated to be praised. Even if Suyi did not age these past 20 years, she was all smiles after she heard what Qing Han had said. My son is older than your mother. You should call me grandma. Suyi did not notice the twinkle in Feng Ruqing's eyes when she was talking. Feng Ruqing did not say anything. She smiled and looked at Suyi's familiar facial features. Qing Han, you can just call Aunt Su, Grandma, since she has said so. All right. Qing Han threw herself into Suyi's embrace. Her face was pinkish fair. She smiled brightly. She was obedient and sweet.
Grandma.
Suyi's heart softened the moment she hugged the young girl. It seemed like she had melted. Although she was still angry at Nancian in her heart, all of this could not be compared with the way the young girl had addressed her. Qing Han, where's Fu Chun? Feng Ruqing cocked an eyebrow and asked. Qing Han pouted. Brother Fu Chun did not want to come out. Feng Ruqing was speechless. That boy was uneasy among strangers. He would never leave the medium given that Suyi was there. Suyi was stunned. You still have an elder brother? Yes, Brother Fu Chun is very fierce. He's as fierce as I. Now, Brother Fu Chun wants to become fiercer so that nobody can bully Mother anymore. They did not want to endure that kind of experience again. Feng Ruqing's heart was warmed. Fu Chun never said much to her, but he always proved his love through his actions. Qinger, can I bring along Qing Han for a stroll? Suyi stopped talking for a while. Don't worry. He'll protect her. Feng Ruqing subconsciously glanced at Qing Han. She actually wanted to refuse Suyi's suggestion, but she could not refuse after seeing Qing Han's eagerness. Qing Han, you can go out with Grandma Suyi, but remember not to eat anything without thinking, especially raw things. Feng Ruqing warned her again. All right, Mother. Qing Yin smiled brightly. It's fine even if I don't eat raw things. I can cook them before I eat them. She always listened to her mother's advice. Grandma, can you create a fire? Qing Han turned and looked at Suyi, seriously, before asking her. Suyi did not understand the situation. But she still raised her fingers, and a spark of fire appeared on her fingertips. It was too late for Feng Ruqing to stop them. My spiritual force can be turned to fire. Little Qing Han, do you want to play with fire? My mother doesn't allow me to eat raw things. Grandma, if you know how to create fire, we can burn, bake, cook, or fry them. Feng Ruqing somehow felt that she should not let that girl go with Suyi. Qing Han, you cannot eat anything that way either. They are not washed. Qing Han was hesitant for a moment before she turned and asked Suyi, Grandma, do you know how to make water? Chapter 585. Pathetic Han Feng to Suyi was quiet for a while. I don't know, but I can learn how to do that. All right, then, I can have some snacks when we go out. Snacks? Feng Ruqing's face darkened. This girl treats the spirit herbs as main food and the villains as snacks. Qinger, don't worry. They'll look after little Qing Han for you. Suyi smiled. Then, he'll bring her back to you without a scratch on her. Feng Ruqing was speechless. I'm not worried about Qing Han, but I'm worried about the others. Mother. Qing Han threw herself into Feng Ruqing's embrace. She felt that she was wronged. I have never been outside with Brother Fu Chun. Let me go out and take a look. Feng Ruqing lowered her eyes. She gazed upon the tears in Qing Han's eyes. Her heart softened. Then, you should listen to Grandma Suyi. Don't go anywhere else, and don't eat anything before thinking. Yes, Mother. Qing Han stopped crying and started to smile when Feng Ruqing finally gave her consent. Feng Ruqing could not stop herself from pinching Qing Han's cute face. Quickly, be on your way now. Qing Han kissed Feng Ruqing's cheek. Then, she let go of her hands and ran towards Suyi in small strides. She held Suyi's hand and walked out of the princess manor with a bright smile. Mother. Fu Chun appeared out of nowhere after Suyi had left. He bit his lip and seemed stubborn. Why didn't you come out just now? Do you want to go out with them? Feng Ruqing asked as she bent down and stroked Fu Chen's small face. Fu Chun shook his head. I don't want to go, Mother. Can you not leave us behind like the 9th Emperor, ever? Feng Ruqing's fingers trembled. She looked at Fu Chen's small and pale face. She was sad. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Fu Chun tugged at her sleeves and his grip tightened. He lowered his eyes slowly. Is it because I was too stingy before and you want to leave us behind? Fu Chun, humans were not like trees and flowers. Humans had feelings. She had spent quite a long time with those two spirit herbs, and they had quite a strong bond between them. If I am faced with danger again in the future, I would never burden them. Fu-chun, I promise you that I will become stronger. They'll never leave you when I become stronger. There was a pathetic smile on Fu-chun's face. But the ninth emperor was so strong and still. He left us behind. There was only Small Black, who was their family member in the lonely divine herbs sect other than the ninth emperor. The ninth emperor had been with them for so long. But he left. That day, he promised that he would return and look after them after he had rescued his lover. Who would have thought that he would never return? Mother, Qing Han and I are not as timid as you think. We are afraid of nothing. We're just scared that we will be left behind again. Fu-chun raised his head. His small face was covered in tears, and Feng Ruqing did not know when that had happened. His small face was pale and filled with grief. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just afraid that I will be left behind again. Mother. Fu-chun held onto her sleeves tightly. Qing Han and I are neither humans nor spirit beasts. But we have spiritual wisdom now. We will be panicked too. We feel pain too. Qing Han is there always. I'm afraid that she will cry, so I do not look for you. In the future, please don't leave us behind. We'll face the danger with you no matter how dangerous it is. Chapter 586. Pathetic Han Feng. 3 Humans are not trees or flowers. Humans have feelings and emotions. But the trees and flowers have feelings and emotions too. Before they transformed into humans, they could not express their feelings and emotions. But it did not mean that they did not have feelings and emotions. Now, they have become humans and act just like humans. Feng Ruqing suddenly extended her hand and pulled Fu-chun into her embrace. She hugged him tightly. Fu-chun hugged her back. The young girl was trembling in his embrace. He was unable to breathe, but he still did not push her away. No, I won't be like that in the future. She thought that she was doing a favor for them. She was unwilling to let Fu-chun and Qing Han make unnecessary sacrifices. She just wanted them to survive. But she had truly forgotten that this is not what they want. Fu-chun's facial expression softened, and he smiled warmly. Mother, you can still bully me like how you did before. It's because I'm much more willing to be bullied by you rather than lose you. But please don't spank me. I'm no longer a small kid. They'll feel ashamed. Feng Ruqing released the boy from her embrace and pinched his small, fair face. You look just like a small kid. Fu-chun pouted. I'm 1,000 years old. I know everything. For example, I could only have a little brother or a little sister if you and father, the state preceptor, sleep on the same bed and kiss each other. Feng Ruqing was speechless. Yes, that's right. You need to hug each other too. If not, you won't have any babies. Feng Ruqing did not know how to respond to that. How should I explain to Fu-chun that humans cannot have kids if they just hugged and kissed each other? Princess, Luli rushed in from outside. She saw the little boy standing next to Feng Ruqing, and she suddenly stopped. Then, she said, Princess, there's a guest. The guest said that there's some good news. Luli did not know about Fu-chun's strength, but she knew that Qing Han could strangle the spirit warriors from the 4 kingdoms. So, that boy's strength must be powerful too. No wonder they're my master's spirit beasts. Who is it? I don't know. He mentioned that he comes from the Mu family. Princess, do you know him? The Mu family. Feng Ruqing frowned slightly and was quiet for a while. Show him in. She had never heard of the Mu family. But it's good news. She was curious as to what kind of good news he would bring to her. Outside of the princess manor, Han Feng was tired of waiting. But he had come all the way to send the betrothal gifts to the princess, so he forced himself to wait patiently. After a short while, he saw the palace maid who had gone into the princess manor to inform about his arrival. He asked, coldly, "Where's the princess?" "She's just a princess from an insignificant royal family. Why did she not come out to greet me?" Luli frowned slightly. Her face darkened when she was faced with Han Feng's unfriendly question. "The princess asked you to enter the manor." Han Feng seemed cold and distant now. Those in the reclusive world really had no manners, and even the palace maid was arrogant. After I marry Feng Ruqing, they'll definitely ask Lady Qing Yin to teach her manners. Han Feng did not bother to care about Lu Li's manners when he recalled the reason he went there. He entered the manor in big strides before he scanned the interior of the manor. His cold gaze was suddenly met with a figure who was as beautiful as a picture. He stared, fixated by the sight. The young girl looked lazy and seemed like a person without any bones. She leaned back against the chair. Her appearance was so dazzling that it could captivate everyone in this world. Han Feng was prepared before he came, but he was still caught breathless when he saw the beautiful girl. At that moment, he finally understood why young Master Nancian had fallen in love with a woman of lowly status. Chapter 587. Pathetic Han Feng. For this kind of beautiful person would surely be the first beauty in Tian Shan Manor also. You requested an audience with me. What kind of good news do you have for me? Feng Ruqing's eyes narrowed and lazily sat up on the chair. She extended her hand and grabbed the spirit rabbit, which was serving a plate of fruits next to her. She pulled the spirit rabbit into her embrace. She used her long and slim fingers to stroke the spirit rabbit's fur. There was a soft smile playing on her lips. Han Feng recomposed himself. His face was cold. It would be a big deal for you. I came on my young manor master's order. He said that he wants you to marry into the Mu family as a concubine. There is usually no betrothal gift for concubines. But my young master like Fu Chun. Kick him out of the princess manor. Feng Ruqing ordered angrily before Han Feng could finish his sentence. All of a sudden, numerous vines appeared under Han Feng's feet. He was pulled out of the manor in a swoosh. What was left was his pathetic voice, which lingered in the air for a long while. Our young manor master wants you to change your name, and you have to break your bond with your family. Then boom, a muffled voice. The whole world was quiet. There is always someone bad who wants to separate the state preceptor and me. Feng Ruqing laughed coldly. Snow Wolf, Beery, close the door. Don't ever let him step into the princess manor again. What kind of people are they? I just want to marry the state preceptor. I don't even know who the young master from the Mu family is. He better leave me alone. Outside the door, Han Feng was thrown to the floor. He wanted to get up and enter the manor again. But he soon saw that the door of the princess manor was harshly closed in front of him. It nearly crushed his nose. He was so angry that his eyes were clouded. He turned and saw a person in a long robe as white as the snow. The person stood in front of him. He was stunned as he looked up at the person. His eyes suddenly squeezed his eyes close. A handsome face suddenly appeared in his eyes. The man seemed calm, and there was no emotion in his eyes. He was so calm that he seemed to be inhumanely cold. Even the wind was mixed with a gust of coldness. Young master. Han Feng's teeth were chattering. He was trembling and he almost lay down because he was afraid. You came to look for Qinger? Nancian's voice was soft but emotionless. I came with the order of the young manor master. All right? Nancian was calm. It's all right. Han Feng subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. His whole body immediately froze before he could say anything more. I said the other day that if anyone from the Mu family came for her, if they dare to hurt her, they need to be killed. If she is unharmed, then they need to leave without a leg. Han Feng's face twitched several times. Young master, I came just to deliver the messages from the young manor master. I did not hurt her. It's true. Yes. Nancian's voice was calm. Does the Mu family think that I'm an untrustworthy person? Boom. Han Feng felt a great pain in his leg. His leg felt useless now. He was forced to his knee with a thud. There was cold sweat all over his face because of the pain. He did not even dare to raise his head to look at Nancian. The man in front of him was just like God. He was so powerful that nobody could resist him. You're welcome to come and look for Qinger again next time, or you could ask him to come as well. Han Feng gritted his teeth. He stood up from the ground shakily. His leg was still there, but he could not feel it anymore. He could just walk forward by dragging the useless leg along. Han Feng thought that this incident would soon be over when he left the Princess Manor. Chapter 588. Pathetic Han Feng v. He met Suyi just as he started walking. He had a look of astonishment on his face. He stopped walking and dared not move. Han Feng, why do you look so pitiful? Suyi had a tonghulu in her hand, and she looked at Han Feng, shocked. That's right. Why are you here? I. Han Feng was trembling and he could not bring himself to explain. Suyi looked in the direction from where Han Feng came. She was shocked. You came for Qinger? This lame uncle came for my mom? Qing Han appeared. She raised her small head and her big eyes blinked like stars. They were cute. Xiao Qing, they're there. You close your eyes later. Grandma has something to do with this lame uncle. Suyi patted Wing Han's small head as she said gently, Fine. All right. Qing Han closed her eyes obediently. She stood behind Suyi, unmoving. Suyi looked at Han Feng again. The smile on her face disappeared. She seemed cold, but her face was calm. She extended her hands. Numerous spiritual forces gathered, and they turned into razor blades and pierced Han Feng's body. Han Feng gritted his teeth and silently endured all the attacks. It was because he understood that his consequence would be worse if he resisted more. The fresh blood gushed from his body. His clothes were torn. He seemed so pathetic and pitiful. Get lost. If I ever see you here again in Lu Yun Kingdom, Suyi smiled softly. You won't get away this easily anymore. Han Feng lowered his head. He clenched his fists. Thank you, lady, for sparing my life. He was seriously injured, but he still needed to thank her for sparing his life. How pathetic was that? Moreover, he had only come to deliver the betrothal gifts. He did no harm. Why do this mother and son treat me so cruelly? Han Feng gritted his teeth. He limped away with his useless leg. He endured all the pain and walked toward the entrance of the imperial city. They'll never come to Lu Yun Kingdom in my whole life again. They'll never come here even if my young manor master forces me. It's not a deed which could be done by a human. Lady, young master Qin Shan is back. Their voices lingered in the Qin family's manor. Qin Fair was happy, and she immediately put down the cup in her hand. She walked outside quickly with the help of a servant. She could see the youth who looked like a pine tree from afar. He had not changed. He still looked the same as he was a few years ago. He was cold and distant. Xiao Chun, you're back? Qin Fair's gaze was soft and gentle. There was a soft smile on her lips. She walked toward Qin Chun slowly. Finally, Qin Chen's gaze fell on her face at that moment. His gaze was still cold without any emotion. Even if she treated her nicely all those past years, he was still like that. But Qin Fair understood that Qin Chen's personality was like that. He was always cold and distant toward everyone. So, she could not make him smile brightly just like any other youth his age, no matter how nice she treated him. You want to marry Nancian as his concubine? The youth asked directly. Qin Fair was stunned. She bit her lip. Father arranged that. Don't be his concubine. Go and persuade him. Qin Chen's voice was cold. Qin Fair lowered her head. She clenched the handkerchief in her hand tightly. Xiao Chun, I have no other choice. I really have no other choice. It's because I want to marry him. Xiao Chun, could you help me? I really want to marry him. She raised her head, and there were tears in her beautiful eyes. But she was so stubborn that she did not want her tears to fall from her eyes. Chapter 589. Pathetic Han Feng 6. Qin Chun closed his eyes softly. After a while, he opened his eyes again. His gaze was still cold as usual. It was cold, so cold that it sent a chill right into one's bones. I understand now. It was only Qin Fair who did not bully or humiliate him in the Qin family. He had given her one last chance, but she did not accept it. Qin Chen's gaze was much determined. He seemed cold. He did not allow anybody to destroy Xiao Qing's happiness. That was what he would protect, even if he had to sacrifice everything. Qin Shun, what do you mean? When you heard what Qin Shun had said when she came out afterward, she was soon infuriated. Feier is destined to go to the Mu family. What's your meaning by asking her not to go there? I know. Is it because you have fallen in love with Feier? You don't want her to become another man's woman. I tell you now, stop dreaming. You're just an adopted son in our family. Who are you to dream of marrying my daughter? Mother. Qin Feier quickly held Wen Ye's hand. She frowned slightly. Don't talk nonsense. Chainer only treats me as his elder sister. Xiao Chun would be in trouble if you talk like that. Father will hear about it. Father dislikes Xiao Chun. If mother says anything more, father will surely be angry with Xiao Chun. Qin Chun scanned Qin Feier coldly. Then, he fixed his gaze on her. You're not my elder sister. Qin Feier was stunned. Why is Xiao Chun behaving like that? No. Father will never let him go if he behaves like that. Feier, did you hear? He has never treated you as an elder sister. He is dreaming of marrying you. But, Qin Shin stopped talking for a while. I don't like you. He was not indebted to Qin Feier. Qin Feier would never survive until now if it was not for Qin Chan as a drug primer. He wanted to advise her because Qin Feier had never bullied him. Qin Feier's face darkened. She clenched her fists tightly. Her facial expression worsened. You bastard. What nonsense are you talking about? Our Feier is so exceptional. There are so many people who like her in this world. You said that because of your pride and self-esteem, given that you'll never be with her in your life. If not, why didn't you allow her to be a concubine? When you was outraged. If Qin Chen liked Qin Feier, when you would think that he was aiming for something that he would never get, she would surely be very angry. But she was angrier now that Qin Chan said he did not like Qin Feier. Feier's body is weak. But what's wrong with her? How could that bastard look down on our Feier? Mother, stop talking now. Qin Feier's facial expression worsened. Do you think that I'm not humiliated enough? Xiao Chun will always be my younger brother. He has advised me. Maybe it's because he wants the best for me. It was me who has fallen in love with young Master Nancian. That's why I want to be married into the Mu family. Qin Feier's gentle voice soothed Wen Yu, and Wen Ye's facial expression grew better. I heard that the young manor master of the Mu family has found a fiancé for young Master Nancian before. It seems that her surname is Tang. I don't know the details. It seems that she has run away with a woman. Now, the Mu family seems to want to bond with the manor master of Tianshan Manor to get an arranged marriage. If Tianshan Manor were a kingdom, then the manor master would be the emperor of the kingdom. But the manor lady of Tianshan Manor was ugly and fat. Nobody could bear that. Hence, nobody asked about her, even though she was the manor lady of Tianshan Manor. Qin Feier was stunned, and she secretly breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. Mother, I know what you mean. They'll not fight with the manor lady if I do enter the family. Chapter 590. Pathetic Han Feng 7. It's fine as long as you understand. When you smiled and continued talking as if no one else was around. Nancian would only fall in love with that kind of plump girl if he was blind. After you're married into the family, nobody would beat you given that you are so beautiful. Even if his wife is the one from Shenyu Manor. At least, we could also have the same status as the Mu family. We could do what they can too. Qin Feier smiled softly. She did not say anything more. She raised her head as she wanted to look for Qin Chen. It was only then she realized that that youth had left without saying goodbye. She felt dejected. Feier, Qin Chen is just a white-eyed wolf. You don't have to treat him so well. Look at how he treated you just now. Wen Yu was quite angry seeing how Qin Feier cared about Qin Chen. Qin Feier laughed bitterly. After all, we're the one who has treated him badly first. It's normal if he hates us. Moreover, now that I can be married into the Mu family and he's back too, Qin Chen must have said that out of anger. He must care about me as his elder sister in his heart. If not, he would not have rushed back home immediately after hearing the news of my deteriorating health. But that boy, mother. Qin Feier held Wen Ye's hand. Have you forgotten what you have promised me? We need to treat him better this time. We cannot treat him harshly anymore. Don't ever give him food which has gone bad. Our Qin family is not that poor. Wen Yu was infuriated. I'm angry just by looking at his face. Our Qin family raised him, but he always seems so cold and distant. It feels like we're the ones who are indebted to him. My younger brother is born like that. He is always cold and distant. Don't you know that? He treats everyone the same. He doesn't only treat us like that. He wants change even if he marries a wife someday. Why are you bothered about those things? Wen Yu opened her mouth while looking at Qin Feier's unsatisfied face. But she did not say anything in the end. It's fine. They'll forgive him because of you. Qin Feier smiled and sighed softly. Qin Shan was withdrawn since young. He had been in the Qin family for so long yet she had never seen him smile even once. She just did not know whether anyone in this world could make him smile. Maybe there might not be one. She was the closest to Qin Qin, and she could not even warm his heart, let alone the others. If there was someone like that, she might not be able to accept that either. Qin Shan returned to his room and took out a jade hairpin from his sleeves. He had taken it from Feng Ruking's jewelry box when he left. Hence, it was like she was still there by his side. Xiaoqing, I don't have any other relatives in this world. I only have you. So, they'll definitely protect you even if I have to sacrifice everything. Nobody will be able to hurt the people you love. They'll be your sword and kill everyone you hate. They'll kill each and every enemy for you. So, I must become stronger. I want to so powerful that nobody can destroy your happiness. The youth looked out of the window. His cold face was warmed by the sunlight. His smile was clear and bright like the sun. He was no longer withdrawn and cold. There was someone who could warm the frozen sun after all. There was also someone who was the sunlight in his heart, making his grief go away. Chapter 591. The princess elopes with the palace maid. Daylight appeared all of a sudden. At the back hill, Feng Ruqing walked out again from another cultivation session. She could feel the strength increase in her body. There was a soft smile in her eyes. I'm finally making a breakthrough to intermediate spirit warrior tier. She did not make any breakthrough since the day she left the forest of spirit beasts. Luckily, she had broken the barrier and reached a whole new level. She walked down the back hill, and she could see that Feng Ying was waiting for her in the manor. There was a row of girls standing behind Feng Ying. The girls' eyes were bright and they had cute freckles on their faces, seemingly eager. A girl in green clothes stood at the far front of the row. Her face was much exquisite compared to the other girls. She lightly bit her lip and seemed withdrawn. One thing about her that was the same as the others was that there were freckles on her face too. Her coldness disappeared the moment she saw Feng Ruqing. Nervousness and even a tinge of shyness replaced the coldness in the depth of her eyes. Feng Ruqing was suspicious. What happened recently? I saw many men and women with freckles when I go out. Now, even the servants of Fengyan Manor look like that too. Although freckles are cute, it seems that there are just too many people with freckles. Feng Ying said respectfully, Manor lady, this is the order from Great Elder Lei Yun. I don't understand it too. That's right. This is a guardian from the Feng Yun clan, Hong Yu. The Great Elder has sent her to protect you. If you have anyone you want to beat up in the future, you can ask Hong Yu to do so for you to prevent your hands from getting dirty. Feng Ruqing did not know how to respond to that. They found me a fighter instead of a servant? Yes, that's right. The other girls are spirit warriors too. Regular people cannot beat them. Feng Ruqing was speechless. They're really sent here to be my guards. In fact, Lei Yun would never send ordinary girls to protect Feng Ruqing. Those girls were also elites among the disciples in Feng Yun Manor. Their talents were exceptional even if they were in the reclusive world. Guardian Feng Ying, Feng Ruqing coughed twice. I don't need any protection from anybody. Aside from the 2-tier 5 spirit beasts in her manor, they were also Qing Han and Fu Chan. Nobody could beat them. Feng Ying replied seriously, Manor lady, they're not here to protect you. They're here to beat up somebody on your behalf. Feng Ruqing remained quiet. Moreover, They have come voluntarily to take care of you. They're not forced by Fengyun Manor. If you're unwilling to accept them, they would be heartbroken and sad. You're always so nice to the girls. You wouldn't want that, right? Fengyun smiled. Great Elder Lei Yun had mentioned it before. The manor lady did not favor the men, but she had always treated the girls nicely. If they wanted her to keep the girls, they must make her feel compassionate toward them. Surely, if Tang Yin had heard what they said, she would cry devastatingly in Nailan Jing's embrace. Feng Ruching did care about girls. The two servants who were serving her were the best examples. Moreover, they were women, just like her. So, she would be gentle toward them. But there were two exceptions. One, those who were her enemies. Another was Tang Yin. Tang Yin would never forget how Feng Ruching threw her out of the princess manor several times. Chapter 592. The princess elopes with the palace maid too. She was never that cruel toward the other girls. But it seemed like she had never treated Tang Yin nicely. Was it because of Tang Yin's lack of height and her small breasts? Feng Ruching turned her head slowly. Her gaze fell on those girls' freckled faces. She was quiet for a while. Finally, she nodded her head slightly. Fine. All of you can stay here. There are a lot of things we're lacking here, but the one thing we have in abundance is money. It's not a problem to have more people here. Yes, manor lady. The palace maids were excited. They peeked at Feng Ruching from the corner of their eyes. Great Elder told them before that the manor lady was very beautiful. It seemed to be the truth. She was captivating. The most important thing was that they heard that the manor lady was extremely talented. They could make a breakthrough during their cultivation quickly simply because they had used numerous spirit herbs from Fengyun Manor, and they did their cultivation in the sacred land of cultivation in Fengyun Manor. However, the manor lady grew up in the reclusive world. From what they had heard, she had made a breakthrough to intermediate spirit warrior tier in only 1 year. They would surely attain great achievements if they stayed with the manor lady. Manor lady, Hong Yu was shy. She was not withdrawn and distant like how she was with Tang Yu a few months ago. She seemed shy. At last, you're back. On that day, Tang Yu had forced herself into a position which she had no right to claim in the first place. Hong Yu was even demoted to be a servant. She never left Fengyun Manor no matter how difficult her life had become. She believed that both the manor master and manor lady would return to Fengyun Manor. So, she did not leave Fengyun Manor. Luckily, she did not give up there and then. At last, the manor lady did return to the manor. Hence, she did not feel like she had wasted her time no matter how hard it was before. She could be somebody as long as they were back to the manor. Surely, Feng Ying knew of Hong Ye's hardships. He looked at her sadly. What's fake will always be fake. They will never be real. Tang Yu deserved what she got now. He would never forget how Tang Yu had humiliated Hong Yu before. Manor lady, there's one more thing that I need to inform you about. Feng Ying turned and looked at Feng Ruching. Tang Yu is dead. Feng Ruching raised her eyebrows. Did she die so easily? She died because of the great pain. Feng Ying smiled grimly. However, the White Phoenix came yesterday. He had locked Tang Ye's soul inside her corpse. He wanted her to suffer eternal pain. All right, the White Phoenix. Is he the state preceptor's White Phoenix? What about Tang Luo? Both Tang Yu and her father had caused so much pain to my mother. They deserve to die horribly. Tang Luo has gone mad. Tang Luo had indeed gone mad. He had not gone mad only because of how he was tortured in Fengyun Manor. But there were some existing signs of insanity in him after he knew of the truth that day. He had completely lost his sanity after the tortures he received in Fengyun Manor. He said that he loves the manor master, but he chose to believe his own daughter. He did not even trust the manor master. That kind of person has no right to love our manor master. Feng Ying sneered sarcastically. Tang Luo was the reason behind the manor master's great sufferings. He took the manor master away and erased her memory. But he could not even protect her well. Even when the manor master had recovered her senses and told him how she was being treated, Tang Luo still did not believe her. This kind of man had no right to talk about love. It's a blessing for him given that he has gone mad. Feng Ruqing sneered. She had only anger and hatred toward both Gu Zhenyang and Tang Luo. But the person she hated the most was Tang Luo. Gu Zhenyang's love was paranoid while Tang Luo's love was maniacal. Both of them deserve to die. They're unforgivable. Chapter 593. The princess elopes with the palace maid 3. Feng Ying. Feng Ruqing's hard stare softened. Then, she asked, "Do you know of any Qin family in the reclusive world?" Qin. Feng Ying looked on blankly. The reclusive world is big. The influence and power of the Qin family are strong. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Then, go and investigate someone for me. He is called Qin Shun. Unknowingly, Feng Ruqing could not stop thinking about Qin Shun after he had left. She was unsure if he was still safe. She was worried about him. "All right, manor lady," Feng Ying replied. "If there's nothing more, you can take your leave now." Feng Ruqing's eyes darkened. She did not know whether she would be able to find out more about Qin Shun just by relying on the Feng Yun clan. It seemed that she needed to get help from Paramount. All right. Feng Ying paid his respect and left the manor obediently. Feng Ruqing stretched her body lazily. Then, she lay on the chair comfortably. Her eyes curved into a crescent. She smiled and looked at the young girls in front of her. "By the way, what can you do?" The girls looked at each other, and they did not say anything in response. "Do you know how to play any musical instrument?" "No." "Do you know how to sing or draw?" "We don't know how to do that either." Feng Ruqing was stunned. Then, "What do you know?" Hong Yu was silent for a short while. "Does it count that we know how to beat people up?" Feng Ruqing was speechless. It seemed that the palace maids from Fengyun Manor were only warriors. Feng Ruqing thought for a short while. Then, "Do you know how to take care of children?" "Take care of children?" Hong Yu was shocked. "Is Manor Lady pregnant? Whose child is that? Does the Manor Master know about that?" "Mother." A soft voice came from the entrance of the manor. Feng Ruqing turned and looked at the source of the voice. She soon saw that Fu Chun was holding Qing Han's hand. They were entering the manor through the entrance of the manor. At last, Fu Chun was willing to stroll around the place while she was having her cultivation session. But he was being naughty only in front of Feng Ruqing and Qing Han. He always acted like an adult in front of others. He always wore a serious face. "Mother, are these cute elder sisters new here?" Qing Han let go of Fu Chen's hand and threw herself into Feng Ruqing's embrace. "Why do they have the same small freckles as the girl outside? Are they sick?" The girl who sold osmanthus jelly had no freckles. But there were freckles on her face now. The same also happened to the girl who sold the bean curd jelly on the next street. "Maybe." Feng Ruqing patted Qing Han's small head. Then, she looked at Hong Yu. "Do you know how to look after kids?" Hong Yu seemed awkward and helpless. Manor Lady does have children, but these two kids are so cute and likable. "Maybe. I can, Mother." Fu Chan walked toward Feng Ruqing and stood beside her. He pouted. "I can take good care of Qing Han." Feng Ruqing rubbed her own temples. "I heard that you burnt down Lu Manor again when you went out with Sui yesterday." Lu Manor was burnt down by Feng Ruqing's cousin and Tang Yin before. They had rebuilt it again not long ago. But Shaoqing burnt that down too. Now, they had rebuilt their manor for only half a month. But it was burnt down again. It seemed that the Lu family could never rebuild their manor again in this lifetime. Fu Chun was stunned. Qing Han persuaded Suyi to do that. "Did you beat Lu Yuqin up the day before yesterday?" Feng Ruqing continued her interrogation. Fu Chen was quiet for a short while. Qing Han saw that Lu Yuqin was sneaking around the princess manor again. Thus, she persuaded Suyi to do that too. "You pushed Lady Lu into the pond and made her drink the water there the day before yesterday, didn't you?" "It was Qing Han who told me that Lu Yuqin's mother scolded her before. So, we asked Suyi." Chapter 594. The princess elopes with the palace maid 4. When did she scold Qing Han? Fu Chun was quiet again. Then, he replied, Qing Han said that Lady Lu scolded her in her own heart. So, now do you understand why I need to arrange for somebody to take care of you? Feng Ruqing rubbed at her temples. She felt a headache coming. She thought that Suyi would take good care of those 2 children. But, who knew that the imperial city would become so chaotic these past few days? She was afraid that Suyi would behave like Qing Han one day. Suyi would treat the villains as snacks, and she would end up with a stomachache. Then, who else would suffer other than Suyi herself? Princess. Just at that moment, Qing Ling ran toward Feng Ruqing excitedly. There was a happy glow on her face. There were bright smiles on her face. Lady Lu and Tan Shuangshuang got into a fight. Tan Shuangshuang was seriously beaten, and now the local authorities have gone to resolve the fight. Feng Ruqing was stunned. Her body was frozen upright because of the shock. She was confused. They got into a fight? Doesn't Lu Yuqin's mother favor Tan Shuangshuang? They did get into a fight. Qing Ling was excited. I heard that Lu Fuyong sided with Tan Shuangshuang and slapped Lady Lu when Lady Lu was teaching Tan Shuangshuang a lesson the other day. So, Lady Lu was jealous of her. Then, she got into a fight with Tan Shuangshuang when Lu Fuyong was not around in the manor. Feng Ruqing was even more surprised now. Doesn't the previous chancellor dislike Tan Shuangshuang? Princess, Lu Fuyong disliked Tan Shuangshuang before because he did not want her to marry Lu Yuqin. Qing Ling smiled happily. He always loves influence and power. He looked down on Tan Shuangshuang before because she had no status and influence. But now that the Lu family has lost its power and influence now, so they are the same as Tan Shuangshuang. Moreover, Tan Shuangshuang is beautiful. It's possible that they have feelings for each other after much time spent together in the manor. Tan Shuangshuang was never married to Lu Yuqin, and she had no relation with the Lu family. So, Lu Fuyong was technically not falling for his son's woman. Feng Ruqing's eyes narrowed. It seems that there are quite a lot of incidents in the Lu family recently that I have no clue about that. That's for sure. Qing Ling seems proud. I always keep a close eye on the Lu family. I just want to see when they will get their retribution. In fact, Feng Ruqing never liked the Lu family. But she also did not have much hatred toward them. She could not be bothered about them as long as they did not offend her first. She was not soft-hearted. She would not bother about them because she never took notice of them. It was fine to her if the Lu family never liked her. She just wanted to be loved and liked by the state preceptor. She was not bothered by others' perceptions of her. She only disliked Tan Shuangshuang, but it was nothing like her hatred toward Feng Ruqing. After all, it was the previous owner who had interfered with the relationship between Lu Yuqin and Tan Shuangshuang first. So, it was understandable that Tan Shuangshuang hated her. So, she gave several opportunities to Tan Shuangshuang after she came here. She had even ignored them for several times. She would never have given her 200 beatings if Tan Shuangshuang had not offended her so much. Unfortunately, the Tan family would never have lost its power and influence if Tan Shuangshuang had not offended her so much. I have nothing to do with the Lu family anymore after I have divorced Lu Yuqin the other day. I don't care much about whatever happens to them in the future. Feng Ruqing laughed unimpressively. She did not care about the Lu family. But they deserved what had happened to them now. But Feng Ruqing tapped her chin and she smiled happily. I never thought that Lu Fuyong and Tan Shuangshuang would come down to this point. Did Lady Lu not bring this upon herself? Chapter 595. The princess elopes with the palace maid v. Lady Lu had favored Tan Shuangshuang very much in the beginning. She always invited Tan Shuangshuang to be a guest at the manor. In short, Lu Yuqin liked Tan Shuangshuang because of Lady Liu's efforts in bringing them together. So, she was the one who had brought this upon herself. She deserves that. Lady Lu had always brought Tan Shuangshuang to the Lu family to annoy the princess when she was still married to Lu Yuqin. Qing Ling did not understand the reason why the princess never got angry at the Lu family given that she was always so arrogant and pompous. Everybody was afraid of her. But she did not act that way in the Lu family. At last, the princess recovered her senses and gave up on Lu Yuqin when she was forced to commit suicide. That's enough. You don't have to inform me of the incidents that have happened in the Lu family. Let them reap what they have sown. Lu Fuyong could not endure the pain of losing the power and influence given that he had always enjoyed the privilege of having a high status and great influence. Moreover, Lu Yuqin had always been a filial son no matter what. Lu Yuqin would surely blame Tan Shuangshuang for what had happened to the Lu family. So, their endings were quite apparent and clear. Actually, Tan Shuangshuang and the Lu family could enjoy good lives. Tan Shuangshuang's talent is not bad. Lu Fuyong is still powerful. He has just lost his job as a prime minister. They don't appreciate what they have, and that's the reason why they do not have a peaceful life. All right, princess. Qing Ling secretly kept Feng Ruking's words in mind. The princess doesn't want to listen to the news about the Lu family. So, I'll not speak of it again. But Qing Ling stopped talking for a while. She must tell Feng Ruqing about something. I heard from the people from Paramount that the king of the spirit beasts is having a fit in the forest of spirit beasts. The different influences in the reclusive world nearby are recruiting people to tame that king of the spirit beasts. Feng Ruqing suddenly stood upright. The king of the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts? Is it deep in the forest? There were quite a lot of kings of spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. For instance, Biri was the king of spirit beasts in the outer circle of the forest of spirit beasts. It was because no spirit beasts could beat Biri in the outer circle. But Biri was not powerful enough when you walked deeper into the forest. But it's a spirit beast that could force the people from the reclusive world to take actions. It must be the king of the spirit beasts from the deepest part of the forest. That's right. The people from Paramount told me about that. A few families have joined forces. Recently, a few spirit beasts are in trouble too. They are picked and captured by the families. Numerous families from the reclusive world joining forces were bad news for the forest of spirit beasts. But Feng Ruqing did not understand why the families joined forces in order to capture the spirit beasts all of a sudden. It did not affect Feng Ruqing if they were only interested in the king of the spirit beasts. But there were too many spirit beasts that she had hired from the forest of spirit beasts. There were even spirit herbs that she had cultivated there. Although she used hidden tactical formation for every spirit herb there, and those spirit herbs looked just like normal herbs, she could not sit there and do nothing because all the other spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts were being hunted. Which are the clans that have joined forces? Are the Divine Herbs Sect, Shun Yao Manor, and Deities Gate 1 involved in this? Qing Ling shook her head. Qing Ling and Luli knew more about the reclusive world since they often went to Paramount to run some errands for the princess. I'm not sure. The people of Paramount did not mention that. They might not be involved. Chapter 596. The princess elopes with the palace maid 6. If those 3 clans joined forces, the other clans might not be daring enough to compete with them. But I heard from the people of Paramount that the king of spirit beasts, which they want to capture, is a black dragon. A black dragon? Fu Qin suddenly raised his small head. He clenched his fists. Black dragon? Little Black? It's impossible. The Divine Herbs sect was destroyed. Little Black protected them and ensured that they had escaped safely. It's dead. Fu Qin's eyes darkened slightly. The only other creature closest to them other than the 9th Emperor in the Divine Herbs sect 1,000 years ago was Little Black. But the 9th Emperor had gone missing and Little Black was dead. Black? Qing Han turned her head to the side and asked with uncertainty, "Is it Big Doggy?" Fu Chun endured the pain in his heart. He patted Qing Han's head. "It's not Big Doggy." "Fine." Qing Han pouted in disappointment. "I thought that Big Doggy is back." Feng Ruqing blinked, and there was a sneer on her face. "It seems like I need to go to the forest of spirit beasts this time. Qing Han, you and Luli need to stay here. Hongyu, go and prepare yourself. Later, we'll head to the forest of spirit beasts." Qing Han threw herself at Feng Ruching and hugged Feng Ruching's leg. Mother, I want to go too. Fu Chun did not say anything but looked at Feng Ruching eagerly. Fine. It's better if I bring along these two mischievous fellows with me. If not, they'll surely make trouble everywhere they go. Moreover, there's Sui who pampers Qing Han to the point where she allows Qing Han to create trouble everywhere she goes. I'm worried about that. I don't want the imperial city to be burned down when I return. Also, Feng Ruching was quiet for a short while. Don't allow Lu Yuqin to get near the Princess Manor when I'm not home. If he dares to burn down the Princess Manor, go ahead and beat him up. Qing Ling's eyes brightened. All right, Princess. I can see through Lu Yuqin's evil thoughts. His eyes are wicked. I think that he not only wants to burn the Princess Manor down, but he also wants to steal your spirit herbs in the back hill. Feng Ruching was speechless. She felt that Lu Yuqin was unknowingly quite dangerous. Then, don't allow him to be within 20 zhongs of the Princess Manor. If he dares to take even one step closer, just throw him out. If you cannot beat him, get some spirit beasts to bite him for you. All right, Princess. Qing Ling smiled happily after listening to the prince's order. She had hated Lu Yuqin since a long time ago. The princess has just divorced him. He doesn't have to plan evil plots against the Princess Manor all the time. He's quite vengeful. It's dreadful. Hongyu, let's go. I want to see which person it is who dares to capture my spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. Call Beery and Beery too. Let Snow Wolf stay here and guard the manor. Snow Wolf howled in protest. Why do you ask me to guard the manor? Why? I'm not a dog. My son's mother is still in the forest of spirit beasts. Why do I have to stay here and guard the house? Feng Ruching was not bothered by the Snow Wolf. She not only had to worry about the danger of being crushed, and also the danger of incoming swords from the sky which would cut off the Snow Wolf's head if she brought it along. She had no choice. The Snow Wolf was unlucky. It would be attacked even if it walked on the road without doing anything. So, she had to make it stay at the manor. At the southern bamboo grove, the azure snake slithered toward the man. It raised its head and looked at the man who was sitting with his back against the snake itself. The man seemed calm and handsome. It looked like he would not react even if the sky fell down. Master, Xiaoqing was hesitant for a short while. The palace maids are sent to the Princess Manor. Is it okay if we don't stop it? Chapter 597. The princess elopes with the palace maid. 7 Nancian said calmly. No need. Why? Didn't Master say that you won't allow palace maids to enter the Princess Manor anymore? Xiaoqing did not understand the situation. At first, Master made a fuss after Fengyun Manor had sent palace maids to Luyun Kingdom. He wanted to force them back to Fengyun Manor. But Master did nothing when he saw the palace maids. Yes. Nancian smiled calmly. I saw their faces. And Qing'er only likes beautiful people. Qingzhu was quiet. Male snakes had the ability to identify the beauty of female snakes. For them, the humans looked just the same. But, Qingzhu replied weakly, I saw that the princess eloping with the palace maids just now. The princess has abandoned you. At that moment, the air around them froze. Although Qingzhu was a cold-blooded animal, it still felt cold and it started to tremble. It looked at the man in front of it, fearfully. What did you say? Qingzhu trembled vigorously, but it was still brave and stubborn. It finished its report stoically. The princess has eloped with the palace maids. They have left the imperial city. The princess has abandoned you, master. Nancian was no longer calm. His mood had changed. A white figure moved very quickly. He grabbed the tail of the snake with one hand and disappeared into the quiet and serene southern bamboo grove. At the Divine Herbs sect, the master gazed steadily at the elder below him in the Divine Herbs sect. Sect master, the beast master of the forest of spirit beasts, seems to have made a breakthrough. It has even started a riot there. It looks like it's searching for somebody. Don't we have to do something? We can still capture it and bring it back to keep it even if we don't kill it. Dragons and phoenixes were considered rare spirit beasts in this land. Did Shinyu Manor and Deity's Gate do anything about this? Master asked calmly. The elder was quiet for a moment. Both of them did nothing. Then, we don't have to do anything. The black dragon is of the lowest tier among the dragon species. Its potential is low, but its strength is quite attractive for the other families. But it's useless for us, the master said with a smile. The elder was stunned. But there's a record in the ancient book of the Divine Herbs sect. It mentions that the black dragon was the guardian spirit beast of the Divine Herbs sect 1,000 years ago. It's different. The master shook his head. The previous guardian spirit beast of the Divine Herbs sect was not a black dragon, but a spirit dragon. A spirit dragon? Yes. It was not a true spirit beast, but it was formed with the surrounding spiritual chi. It was not a dragon, but it was the only one in this world. It had disappeared, and there are no more spirit dragons. How could a black dragon be compared to a spirit dragon? The black dragon is the weakest kind in the dragon family. It's too worthless to be my spirit beast. You can leave now. Those two families are not even bothered about it. So, we don't have to do anything for the black dragon. The master smiled softly. Moreover, there will be a war soon at the forest of spirit beasts. We don't have to join their fight. We will just sit here and watch their fight. Furthermore, the master's eyes narrowed. The other families went there not only to capture the black dragon. Although the black dragon is the most worthless kind of dragon, it won't bow down to the humans because of the arrogance of the dragon. But I heard that the other families had captured quite a lot of spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. Chapter 598. The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts. There's a possibility of taming ordinary spirit beasts. But it's impossible to tame the dragons and phoenixes. You need to understand that. However, they were unable to slaughter or capture the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts these past few years because of the existence of the Beastmaster. They could only capture some spirit beasts at the outer circle of the forest of spirit beasts. The master stopped talking for a while. Then, he continued, "We don't know what happened there when the black dragon made a breakthrough. It is weak, but it still dares to start a riot there to the point where all the other clans intend to join forces to kill it. If the black dragon is dead, the fate of the forest of spirit beasts will be in the hands of humans. The spirit beasts will become pets and machines for humans." So, the Divine Herbs sect did not have to join in the fight. I understand now. The elder greeted the master and said respectfully, "But is it true that we don't have to avenge Gu Zhenyang?" The master's facial expression changed at Gu Zhenyang's name. "That goddamn bastard. I have punished him once, and he is so daring as to attack the secular world. Let's not talk about avenging him yet. Who should we even get revenge from? If you're able to kill Nancian, why don't you go?" "I definitely won't go." The master would never allow anybody to humiliate the Divine Herbs sect if the offender was an ordinary person. But the master was afraid of Nancian's strength and power. Much less go and look for trouble. Is life too easy now? The elder's lips twitched. Eventually, he did not say anything more. The forest of spirit beasts was different from the humans' kingdoms. It was a world that belonged to the spirit beasts only. There were rarely any humans entering the forest of spirit beasts in the past. There was not even a person who destroyed its peace. But the forest of spirit beasts was different now. It was no longer peaceful. The unwelcome intruders from the humans' kingdoms came, intruding the spirit beasts' peaceful lives. They brought wars into the forest of spirit beasts. A loud roar was heard. A few pairs of angry eyes glared at those eager humans. Their skin and fur were stained with fresh blood. Their skins were torn open. The spirit beasts were whipped heavily, and their blood gushed out with every beating. They did not understand what they had done wrong. They had always obeyed the rules of the world and had never left the forest of spirit beasts. So, why did the humans never let them go? This silver leopard king is powerful. It's a tier 5 spirit beast. We can slaughter and eat the other spirit beast. But we'll bring this silver leopard king back. We'll tame it. That's right. This forest of spirit beasts should never exist in the first place. The spirit beasts should become our pets. We can destroy the forest of spirit beasts this time. Idle never exist from now on. Their waves of laughter were manic and arrogant. Their facial expressions were twisted. A young silver leopard howled sadly. It watched its family members being slaughtered. Its heart was filled with deep pain and grief. We will correct our mistakes if we have done anything wrong. We'll never leave the forest of spirit beasts or our home in this lifetime. But tell us what we've done wrong. Why did you slaughter our family? Why do you look down on us? Pain, hatred, numerous emotions filled the hearts of the silver leopards. The seeds of hatred grew deeply in their hearts when they saw their family members being slaughtered. But the silver leopard king was the only powerful spirit beast there. The other silver leopards were useless in the eyes of the powerful humans. Chapter 599. The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts. Night fell. It seemed like the whole of the forest of spirit beasts was stained with blood, and the air was filled with the scent of blood. The silver leopards fell into a deep pit of despair. They resisted vigorously, but still, they could not escape the fate of being slaughtered. The humans did not kill the silver leopards immediately. They used their thorny whips to whip the silver leopards. Their skins were torn. The humans even laughed happily at that. The silver leopard king could not endure the attacks of numerous humans. It trembled, and it fell down onto the ground. Fresh blood rushed into its eyes, and its vision was blurred. But it still turned its head and looked at its remaining family members with determination. The silver leopards howled, hoarsely. It was loud and clear in the windy forest. The howl lingered in the air. Elder, it seems that this silver leopard king is almost done. I've prepared the cage. Let's put it in the cage and tame it when we're back. A youth brought along a cage and some money. He looked at the silver leopard coldly. The silver leopard seemed worthless to him. It was only a pet to humans. After all, those spirit beasts were the same as ordinary humans. They were used only for entertainment purposes. But there was a rule in the reclusive world. They could not attack the secular world. So, they had never done so. A loud howl was heard. The youngest silver leopard suddenly rushed forward and bit the youth. Its eyes were deadly, and those eyes were filled with deep hatred. The silver leopard was a type of leopard that did not like to fight. So, they never thought of attacking humans. They still wanted to live a peaceful life, even though the humans harmed them first. But humans' hearts were more frightening than hell. The silver leopards loved peace, but they were forced to attack the humans and resist their attacks. But the youngest silver leopard did not understand the situation. Why? Why do humans still want to harm us given that we're forced to live here in the forest of spirit beasts? We just want to survive. We just want to live on. Is that too much to ask for? Boom. The youth waved his hand, and the youngest silver leopard was thrown away like a soccer ball. It hit a tree and soon stopped moving. Its body fell onto the ground slowly, leaving a trail of fresh blood on the ancient tree. Why did you attack the youngest silver leopard? Their leader, a middle-aged man, sneered at the youth. That youngest silver leopard looked cute, and it could have been a pet for my daughter. That's why I didn't order anybody to kill it. How could it survive your blow? The youngest silver leopard's body twitched. There was a trail of blood on the corner of its lips. It had a vacant stare. The young leopard had barely enjoyed the beauty of the world. The silver leopard king roared loudly. It forced itself to stand upright, but its steps were faltering. It looked like an aged elder and was no longer fast and quick. At that moment, its body seemed strong and powerful. It used its large body to shield and guard the silver leopards behind it. It was guarding the remaining silver leopards. Chapter 600. The plight of the forest of spirit beasts 3, eh? The youth was surprised. It can still move? If so, you go on and kill the other silver leopards first. Their fur is valuable. We can take it down. Their flesh is delicious and nutritious. It should not be wasted. The spirit beasts were valuable. Their entire body could be made for good use. Their sharp teeth were the sharpest weapons in the world. Their furs were adored by numerous girls. Their flesh and meat were delicious and nutritious. Their hearts were valuable too. They could be sold at a good price. So, there was a time when many humans slaughtered the spirit beasts because of their value. The spirit beasts were forced to live in the forest of spirit beasts for survival. A group of beasts could never beat humans. But humans did not dare to make any reckless actions when the beasts joined forces. It was the reason why the spirit beasts could survive until today. The spirit beasts obeyed the rules obediently. They had never left the forest of spirit beasts to go and harm humans. Similarly, humans had never stepped into the forest of spirit beasts for no reason. They lived in harmony all this while. They had never made a mistake, and the only thing they did wrong was placing their trust in humans. Sometimes, humans' hearts were more frightening than hell. The silver leopard king closed its eyes and it could no longer fight anymore. It still wanted to use its body to endure all the attacks for its family members, even though it could no longer hold on. Boom! Suddenly, a strong force came from not far away. The youth's heart was speared with a sharp knife when he came to stand in front of the silver leopard king. The fresh blood gushed out and stained his clothes. His eyes were wide open. He fell backward slowly. He fell down with a muffled noise, and the dirt was thrown up. The silver leopard king raised its head weakly. It looked in the direction of where the attack had come from, and it saw a girl rushing toward them. There was no word to describe the girl who led the incoming group. There were 2 strong bears next to the girl. The bears acted as guardians to the girl. They stayed on each of her sides closely. The facial expression of the middle-aged man changed. He turned slowly and his gaze fell on the girl's face. She was a captivating beauty. He was supposed to be angry, but his frustration disappeared the minute he saw the beauty of the girl. He was smiling. "May I know which family are you from?" "I'm Xiaoing. Are you here to capture the spirit beasts? If you want, I will let you have the silver leopard king. If you're willing, can we be friends?" Hong Yu was infuriated. She attacked Xiao Ying. Then, she scolded, "How dare you? Be polite toward manner lady." The middle-aged man leaned to the side and dodged the attack. He narrowed his eyes and seemed to give off a sense of danger. "You're at intermediate dark warrior tier? This girl with freckles is a dark warrior. She has a dark warrior as her guardian. Her family's status might be the same as my Xiao family." Feng Ruqing was not bothered about the middle-aged man. She walked slowly toward the silver leopard king. The silver leopard king raised its head weakly and stared at Feng Ruqing with extreme difficulty. It seemed to be guarded. Who knows what this girl's intention is? "Can you still fight?" The young girl's voice was extremely gentle. It was like a stream of love entering its heart. The previous silver leopard king would surely put down its guard when it was faced with this kind of friendly and gentle human. Chapter 601. 601. But the silver leopards were facing the danger of extinction that day. Sponsored Contented had a deep fury toward the humans, and it could trust the humans anymore. "It seems that you are unable to stand up." Feng Ruqing held out her palm, and she seemed determined. "Eat this and avenge yourself." "What?" The silver leopard looked at the purple fruit on Feng Ruqing's palm in shock. The fruit contained a deep and powerful spiritual qi. It was like a thread that controlled all of the silver leopard's thoughts. At last, the silver leopard could not control its urge, and it might be because of the powerful spiritual qi. The silver leopard opened its mouth and ate the fruit. Powerful spiritual qi entered the silver leopard's body, and its injured body was slowly healed. The silver leopard king was confused. It helplessly looked at the beautiful face in front of it. It was still doubtful. Sponsored content. Don't humans intend to kill all of the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts? Why did she save me? Why did she pull me out of a deep pit of despair when I've lost all hope toward humanity? Purple Dragon King Fruit? Xiaoying frowned slightly. Young girl, do you know what you're doing? We've spent quite a lot of effort and time to hunt down the Silver Leopard King. Why are you saving it now? We must tame it even if you save it. Feng Ruqing turned around slowly. She was expressionless and she seemed calm. It's because I own this forest of spirit beast. All of the spirit beasts here belong to me. Xiaoying squinted. Do you know what you're talking about? Feng Ruqing did not bother to respond to Xiaoying's question. She turned and looked at the Silver Leopard King. Can you stand up now? The Silver Leopard King stood up. Its back was straight, and it stood upright. Sponsored content just like how it used to. But the hatred in its heart did not disappear. It glared at the people from the Xiao family. There was a deep fury in its eyes. It roared loud and clear. It soon rushed toward Xiao Ying after the thunderous roar. It flashed its fierce and sharp teeth at Xiao Ying. Xiao Ying's expression changed drastically. At first, he was infatuated with the young girl's beauty. Now, he was infuriated with her. Young girl, do you know what you're doing now? You're going against the reclusive world. Fighting against the reclusive world? Feng Ruqing sneered. I'm not fighting against the reclusive world. It's you who is going against me first. Feng Ruqing found many injured or dead spirit beasts on her way there. The spirit herbs planted by the spirit beasts were destroyed too. So, she was not going against the reclusive world, but she was going to destroy the whole of the reclusive world. Feng Ruqing was sad. She was saddened by the fact that the spirit beasts were slaughtered in their own homes. She was also grieving to find that the spirit herbs were ruined. Luckily, she had used the formation beforehand, so that her spirit herbs were only ruined but not snatched away from her. There might be other more powerful families that were attracted there by the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. Biri 2, go and help it. Sponsored content. A loud roar was heard. Biri 2 roared once. Then, it swung its powerful fists and rushed toward Xiaoying. It beat Xiaoying up. Xiaoying dodged the attack swiftly, and he successfully dodged Biri 2's first attack. But there was a leopard in front of him and a bear behind him. He could not tackle their attacks as easily as before. Soon, he was defeated. The people from the Xiao family wanted to join the fight, but they were soon stopped by the palace maids from Fengyan Manor. Manor lady, this young leopard is still alive. Hongyu picked up the young leopard lying under the tree. She could still feel its weak breathing. She brought it to Feng Ruqing. Chapter 602. The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts v. But that young leopard was seriously injured. It could not be healed with only spirit herbs. Fortunately, Feng Ruqing had foreseen what would happen in the forest of spirit beasts. So, she had made proper preparations. She carefully took out a bottle. There was some kind of greenish soup in that bottle. She put the bottle near the young leopard's mouth. She forced its mouth open and fed it the spirit soup. The young leopard was still conscious. It swallowed a big mouthful of the liquid. After a long time, the silver leopard opened its eyes. At that moment, a beautiful face was reflected on the silver leopard's emerald green eyes. It could not recover its senses. Mother, it seems like I've met God. Humans were much more frightening than hell, but it did not apply to all the humans in the world. Things always came in pairs. There were both good and bad things in this world. Hongyu, it's fine now. Take care of it. Feng Ruqing put the young leopard in Hongyu's care. Then, she scanned the state of the other silver leopards. She sighed softly. All of the other silver leopards were lying on the ground. They had lost their breaths. She could not save all of them no matter how strong her spirit herbal dishes were. Biri lay on the ground and cried desperately. The forest of spirit beasts was its first home. It was born there. But its home had changed drastically now. It was no longer what it used to be. There were so many deaths. Biri could not help but feel depressed. Biri 2 was a Tier 5 spirit beast. Xiao Ying was soon defeated by Biri 2. He vomited a mouthful of blood, and he glared at Feng Ruqing. Who are you exactly? These spirit beasts are nothing but pets and machines. Why can't I kill them? Feng Ruching turned and looked at Xiaoying slowly. Yes, that's right, me for extra chapters. She stopped talking for a while. Then she continued. So, you'll be a pet to the spirit beasts if your strength is not powerful. You think that you're so much stronger than the spirit beasts, and they could only be kept as pets to you. If they could not be kept as pets, you want to tear their skin open, pull out their teeth, and even want to eat their flesh. But you'll become a pet to them in the end when you're unable to beat the spirit beasts. Xiaoying wanted to move, but all of a sudden, several vines appeared from underneath him and entangled his body. He was firmly tied. He looked in the direction from where the vines had appeared. He soon saw a young girl who came out from nowhere. Her face was beautiful and pinkish, but she seemed angry. Her voice was soft and naive. All of you are villains. How dare you bully the spirit beasts? I'm quite fierce. I don't allow you to bully them. The silver leopard king bit into Xiaoying's neck. Xiaoying trembled, and he soon lost his breath. I want to ask you something. Feng Ruching saw that the spirit beasts were saved. She did not want to linger there. She asked the silver leopard king directly, Did you see the three-striped tiger? I went to its cave and I did not find it there. Do you know where it has gone? Three-striped tiger? The silver leopard king shook its head helplessly. The silver leopards never liked to fight with others. So, they rarely mingled with the other spirit beasts. Hence, it did not know where the other spirit beasts had escaped to. Fuchun, can you locate the three-striped tiger? Feng Ruching rubbed her temples. She was anxious. Where did little tiger's mother go? Although there was a contract between them, the contract only gave Feng Ruching the privilege to have her orders obeyed by them. But it did not have any other restrictions. She could not locate the three-striped tiger with the help of the contract. Mother, there's a place in this forest I cannot reach with my mental power. But that place is huge. I'm not sure whether little tiger's mother is there. Fuchun shook his head and said, sadly, Chapter 603. If that's the case, we will go and poke around there. Who knows, maybe we can find it there? Sponsored content. Okay, mother. All these silver leopards seem to be fine now. Hong Yu put down the little leopard from her arms and followed Feng Ruching to go deeper into the forest. However, Feng Ruching stopped walking after quite a distance. You guys don't have to follow me. Go and find another place to live and survive. This place is not very safe. All the silver leopards stopped. They were staring at Feng Ruching all the while. However, as Feng Ruching started to move again, all the silver leopards started to follow her again. Mother, Fuchun tugged Feng Ruching's hands. They want to follow you because they think you have saved their lives. Don't the silver leopards like to be in a quiet place? The place that I want to go is not quiet. Also, that place could also be more dangerous than it is here. Sponsored content, but Fuchun frowned anxiously. All of these silver leopards just wanted to follow her. With an elegant and robust pace, the silver leopard king came from the side, toward Feng Ruching stood in front of her. It brought its knees to the ground and bowed down low until its forehead touched the ground as if it was worshipping her. Mother, what it wishes is that it wants you to be the king of silver leopards. Feng Ruching did not know what to say. She had just dropped by the forest of spirit beasts, but suddenly, she had become the king of the leopard. Sponsored content also, they won't leave if you don't agree to keep them with you. The spirit beasts are always stubborn and inflexible. If they have decided on something, they will never change their minds. Feng Ruching looked at all these silver leopards, which were staring at her. Her heart eventually softened. Do you know? I've come to know a lot of people, but the more people you know, the more I prefer those loyal animals. There was a saying in Huaxia, the more people you know, the more you're like a dog. That was her situation, previously. Other than Cheer, whom she relied her life upon and who had relied upon her as well, all the people she came across had always just hurt her. Even though she had come to Tsangyu mainland, all the people who followed her were kind enough for her to trust and like them. However, her affection towards spirit beasts never abated. The spirit beasts were very genuine. For the spirit beasts, evil was evil, good was good, and they would never intrigue each other. Also, if you were kind to them, they would repay you for the rest of their lives. It's okay if you guys want to follow me, but every one of you has to listen to my words. The silver leopard king straightened its body and nodded. It stuck its tongue out and licked the back of Feng hands. Let's go, Feng said calmly as she looked forward into a distance not too far away. Around a deep and serene pond in the deepest part of the forest of spirit beasts. Inside that pond, a black dragon was bathing, relaxed. Its eyelids were half opened, and its voice sounded lazy but mesmerizing. Have you found the person whom I have asked you to look for? Sponsored content. Next to the black dragon was a little fox holding a fruit plate, standing quietly. After it heard Black Dragon's words, it howled twice as a response to its question. No? Then where has she gone? It shouldn't have turned out this way. Also, those humans are aware of my weak condition now, and they will definitely take this opportunity to wipe me out. So in the end, they can occupy my forest of spirit beasts. If this is the case, will she still come? She would still come. She would definitely come to save it. With her kind disposition, if she knew that its body was weak and had also found out that a group of humans wanted to bully it, she would never step aside and sit back to watch. If it were not because of the slightly unique breakthrough process for the dragon this time, which was strong enough to shake the earth and heaven, the dragon would never have started to hibernate a few years ago. It would not have been so weak now, and those humans would never have dared to invade its forest of spirit beasts now. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.